Well, with Matric results due out this evening, the next hurdle for those who have qualified for bachelors is choosing the right program to pursue at university. But do these prospective university students have the mental preparedness to face the demands of higher education? Sharon Govender is an educational psychologist joining us on the line from Pretoria now. Good afternoon, Sharon, and thank you for your time on the SABC News Desk.
Good afternoon, Kashmi.
Sharon, a great Matric result is not all one needs to succeed at tertiary level. Could you elaborate on the crucial self-management skills or abilities which are needed to succeed at tertiary level? And more importantly, are these being adequately developed at school level?
Kashmi, to answer in short, no, most learners don't possess the self-management skills that are required. And, let's unpack what we mean by self-management skills for success. At university or any tertiary institution, we require them to be disciplined, to commit, to be able to have the commitment to attend lectures, meet deadlines, respond to crises on a personal level. It's as simple as having the skill to go up to a lecturer and saying, I'm not sure what to do. And then marry that and couple that with the pressure of adjusting to life in a residence, far from home, choosing relationships. And my professional opinion is that this is a huge ask. Even for a student from a city school, let alone a child from a township school or even forget the deep rural. There is a chasm that exists between the ethos of the school and that of a tertiary institution. And if you take what happens in the school, to go to the second part of the question, you asked how do schools prepare them? Do they adequately develop these skills? And in fairness, I must answer that I think a genuine attempt is made when you look at the curricula in the schools, when you look at life orientation, self-esteem, interpersonal skills. It's built into the curriculum from as early as grade R. But to what extent are these skills developed, honed, and actually brought out in these learners? You take research skills. When you look at even our Matric exam and the way in which these learners are prepared, study skills and camps are conducted, etc., etc. But much of it is a repetitive, it is almost a parroting of what is given. There is no innovative thinking. Yes.
Sharon, very quickly, we are running out of time. We just want to understand whether this complex and this very expensive application and registration process, how much of a barrier has this become to entry for our less affluent learners? For example, if our middle class learners apply to universities, they do have a great deal of support in that they know that their grade 11 marks are crucial and that the earlier you apply, the better. And then they have social capital in the terms of the connections they have, whereas children in rural and township learners may be the only letter writers and the most experienced letter writers in their families. And not only do they lack the finances, but they lack the social capital as well. It does seem like the systems right now for accessing tertiary education are designed with middle-class applicants in mind and a little bit hostile to township learners who lack the savvy to navigate them. How do we start to close this gap here?
I think, there is an attempt to close that gap already happening with the partnerships that the Education Department has with colleges and things like that. So the answer is it's a yes and a no. That deep rural child who has the very few people that, around him that can give him the skills, give him the savvy, teach him, he depends entirely on the school and the educators. And if they fall short, then yes, it is, very, very hostile for him to bridge that gap between the two. But there is an attempt made between within the Education Department when you look at the subject advisors that go out and the support systems that are there. So there is an attempt, but it still remains hugely inadequate for that rural child. I would certainly agree.
Sharon Govender, educational psychologist, joining us on the line from Pretoria. Thank you for being so generous with your time on the national broadcaster, Sharon.